Yo, today we are doing Elden Ring boss tier list. You know, we recently finished Elden Ring and it was immaculate. So I thought, why not? Why not just talk about them while it's fresh on my mind? I'm only going to rank the main bosses, i.e. the ones with cutscenes, the main remembrance ones, and the ones that are actually required to fight. I know there's going to be at least one of you out there that's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're not ranking Mad Pumpkinhead and Burial Watchdog. They're my favorite bosses. All I can really say to that is allow it. There's like a billion mini bosses out there. And besides, half of them aren't even real bosses. They're just like regular enemies. And then the gang up in FromSoft were like, hey, Miyazaki, let's give him a health bar. So no, I'm not rating them. Okay, I'm not doing it. Secondly, I'm not going to be doing the DLC bosses in this video. I'm guessing it's going to be long as fuck anyway. If people do want to see a part 2, then let me know. But we'll see. Thirdly, I want to just say how I'm ranking these bosses. I'm going to be rating them based on the experience and how you feel during the fight, more so than comparing the bosses to one another. To me, it doesn't make sense doing it that way. Like, for example, let's say we take Margit and Radagon, right? You see Margit within the first, like, hour of the game for most people. Whereas with Radagon, he's the last boss. Like, he should be flashier. He should have more complex moves. But to me, that doesn't necessarily make him a better boss, right? Like, he should be these things. So if you see any questionable takes and I've got like Margit above Radagon, it is what it is. I'm not necessarily saying he's a better boss, but I'm saying the boss fight might have been better. It will be funny though, because there's going to be people that just jump straight to the end. They're going to be like, what the fuck? But shit, is what it is, I guess. Last but not least, I want to say my word is not absolute. I'm not our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Okay, I could be wrong about things. We can have different opinions. That's fine. If you do think I'm wrong or have a bad take, calm, you know? Just put in the comments why you think differently. Try and be constructive about it. Don't just be like, this guy's a dickhead. Dislike. There's no need for that. Anyways, let's start this shit. Okay, first boss on the chopping board. Margit. How do we rank Margit? I'm gonna be real, and this might be a controversial take. I want to put Margit in S tier. I know it's the first boss, but legit, this was a good time. I can't be the only one who thinks that. I feel like he's the most perfect first boss there could have been. Bro was challenging. His moves were decently complex for a first boss. There were no moves that I can recall that were like bullshit. They're like when you fight a boss and it just feels unfair. That wasn't like that with Margit, as hard as he was, right? You know, his attacks were telegraphed well. Soundtrack was solid. His line when he kills you was cold as shit. I don't know. I just think it was really fucking good. I think the other thing I have to pay respect to is the fact that this man single-handedly made people quit the game. Bro had people uninstalling, getting refunds, throwing their fucking controllers against the wall. Like, that's legendary status, man. Maybe it is just me though, because I had a parry build and he is really fun to parry. Probably the most fun parry boss in the game. But yeah, I can't really fault it. I feel like the absolute lowest I can put it is A tier. Anything less than that is just disrespectful. I guess S tier is reserved for like the greatest in the fucking game. But Margit was definitely up there. Also, the feeling of when you do beat Margit, chef's kiss, man. One of the most satisfying wins in the game. It makes you believe, you know, that you can actually beat this game. All right, who's up next? Godric the Grafted. Probably should have said this at the start. Take what I say with a pinch of salt, because I've only beat the game once. Like, there are some bosses that I will have fought 2 times, others that I've fought for like 2 hours. So, you know, I haven't done any no-hit runs, no deathless level 1 runs, none of that. I have not played this game a lot. I'm a casual, and that is okay. This is a casual POV tier list. But anyway, Godric. Ranking Godric. For me, I'm going to have to put him in C straight up because I've fought him 1 time. The good things about his fight mainly was just the cutscene. The cutscene was raw. Arguably one of the best cutscenes in the game. But yeah, he was just one of the more forgetful bosses for me. But once again, that's probably just because I fought him 1 time. He was all right. I don't know what else to say, man. Another good thing, though, that I got to give credit to, the build-up was really fucking good. Like, you bump into Roderica, she's talking about how people getting grafted, and then you go through the castle and you see all these dismembered limbs and shit. Like, it is good. But the boss fight itself was alright, I guess. So yeah, I'm putting Godric in C tier. Alright, next up, Rennala. I'm gonna say it how it is, all right? If you liked Rennala boss, then you don't exist. Okay, you're not real. There is not a single Rennala enjoyer out there. There's no way anyone looks forward to this fight. Like, if we talk about pros versus cons, the good thing about this fight, the only redeeming thing about this fight is like the arena. The boss arena is fucking awesome. But that's about it. The rest of the fight is dog shit. Baby girl out here just yeeting spells at us, summoning fucking the whole cast of Shrek. It's just not a good time. And then on top of that, the run back. Why is it so long? They could have put a stake of America right outside that front door, but they didn't, just to piss us off. Do you know how disrespectful that is? Time is the one resource we have that is finite. I ain't about to waste my time running back and forth, getting molested by giant fucking bowling balls. So unnecessary. And then phase 1. Don't get me wrong, I love punching kids as much as the next guy, but like smacking a bunch of children, waiting for her to fall down, it's just long. It's not good design at all. There's about 20 bosses on this list. Realistically, this is probably the worst one. So yeah, that's where I stand with Rennala. Maybe not the worst boss, but she's up there, bro. All right, Sugi, Radahn, Star Scourge Radahn. This one might piss people off. I'm actually going to put Radahn in A tier and not S tier. And it pains me to do it because on paper, this is one of the best fights in the game, right? I remember the build up to it being so fucking good. I swear every character and their nan was talking about Radahn. And then you pull up to the festival with the gang. Shit did go hard. And even the fight, it is fucking good. It's just the one flaw for me, and maybe I was over leveled. I was level 69 for this fight. It just felt too easy considering the hype that was being built around him. Like, maybe he should have had more health, did more damage. I don't know. I feel like his moveset was good, but it didn't feel that challenging. Maybe he still deserves S tier though. I don't know. The meteor was fucking iconic. Cutscene was iconic. Seeing Alexander fight for his fucking life, iconic. Anyone who sees this, please comment if you think it's A or S. I doubt anyone thinks it's below that, but I just want to know what you guys think because I'm conflicted here. Now, I'll leave it low S, high A. It was almost perfect, just not hard enough. Maybe pre-nerf Radahn would have put it in S, but I never experienced that, so it is what it is. Next up, Ancestor Spirit. I'm guessing this is the Regal one, right? I'm gonna keep it real. Ancestral Spirit to me was so fucking good. This is gonna be the most controversial take. I want to put this motherfucker in S tier. I know that I just ranted about Radahn not being hard enough, but I still don't necessarily think that hard equals good. Like, even though Ancestral Spirit wasn't hard at all, it only took me a couple of tries, but the lore surrounding this fight was really good. I liked how the little spirit animals were dying to give it strength. Soundtrack was fucking awesome. Overall, just really elegant, really beautiful, this fight. I even rocked the antlers for the whole game because I like this boss that much. So for me, I'm putting it in S. I'm guessing most people will not have it anywhere near this high, which is understandable. Just for me, I like this fight a lot. Very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. All right, this is Fortisax, right? Lich Dragon, I believe. I'm kind of sad. This is the only Remembrance boss that I didn't fight on my playthrough. I just never found him. I've looked up the fight. I haven't done it myself, so obviously my opinion is pretty invalid here, but I'll talk about it anyway. The boss arena looked really fucking cool. His moves looked cool. He just seems like a fucking cool fight. And I will say the soundtrack for this fight genuinely might be the best soundtrack in the game. It is so good. I think the only problem is he's a dragon, and dragons aren't the most fun to fight. Let me know if you think this is wrong, if he should be higher or lower. Like I said, I haven't fought him. I don't know for sure. Next up, Estelle. I can't remember his name other than Estelle. There's some words after it. I don't know. If I had to rank Estelle, I'm gonna put him in C tier. Like, he's better than Rennala, but this fight also wasn't the most fun. I mean, the boss arena was really cool. His design is pretty fucking nuts, I can't lie. But it just wasn't the best fight. A lot of his moves were cool. His meteor shower went hard, but it was just a bit boring. Soundtrack was kind of forgetful. Wasn't the worst boss out there, but definitely wasn't the best. When you beat him, the feeling is just like, that was alright, wasn't it? Like, I don't think when you start a new playthrough, you look forward to fighting Estelle. He's sort of just there. Like, you can fight him, you can not fight him. No one really cares. It's a fucking trek to get to as well, isn't he? Trying to get through the lake of rot and everything. So yeah, I'll put Estelle in C tier. Next up, God-devouring serpent / Rykard. Ranking Rykard. Rykard's an interesting one. I feel like Rykard's got to be an S tier boss. I know it's a gimmick, and once you use the serpent hunter, it's not that hard. Fucking nutty fight though. Boss arena, fucking crazy. One of the best boss arenas in the game. It's probably top 3 with like Mohg and Placidusax. Yeah, maybe not S tier though, maybe A tier. I feel like a lot of his moves just weren't fun though. Like his fucking death skull thing, it looked cool, but like Like, I don't want to just run for 30 fucking seconds, you know? I want to actually be able to fight. Yeah, I'll put him in A tier, but if anyone did think he's an S tier boss, understandable as well. Very cool fight, very fucking anime fight, but not as fun as others in the S tier, so yeah, A tier it is. All right, Godfrey, the golden boy. Godfrey was all right. I like the soundtrack. I think the most memorable thing about this fight is just the fucking jump scare at the start. When you walk in the room and bro just comes out of nowhere. I do think Godfrey has a lot of balanced moves though. A lot of delays, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I kind of like taking points away from a boss if they hard counter certain builds. Like I don't like how he couldn't bleed, couldn't do status effects because that's my whole build. So yes, I take it personally. I'll put it in low B / high C. Like it was fine. Nothing crazy though. Definitely worse bosses out there. All right, next up, Morgott. Unfortunately for me, Morgott succumbed to the same fate as Radahn. Like this fight was fucking awesome, but he just wasn't strong enough. I'm gonna have to put Morgott in A tier, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this fight a lot. I think his moves are really fucking cool. I like how much of a step up it was from Margit in terms of complexity of his moves. Soundtrack was really nice. Boss arena's nice. Even a bit of emotion in the fight as well. Bro had me feeling some things. Also, his sword, shit is cold. I think if he had more health, I would have put him in the S tier, but like you can beat him so easily with little effort. Like you can shackle him up and you get him to half health and he starts vomiting, so it's just more damage. Then he's pretty much already dead, you know? Considering who he was, he should have been more challenging, in my humble opinion. But yeah, it was fun. Just could have been better. Haha, Fire Giant. For me, Fire Giant, it's going in D tier. I think he's better than Renala, but it's not a good fight. I don't hate him as much as a lot of people. I know a lot of people despise this man, want him out of the game, and I can see why. Like, why is bro rolling around all the time? Who thought of that? And then you spend the whole fight just fucking carving up his toes. Like, it just wasn't fun. You can clearly tell by now I've got a preference. I like fighting bosses that are, I don't know, our size or just a bit bigger, so it at least feels somewhat like a dance to an extent. You know, they do some attacks, you do some attacks, you take turns. But bosses like Fire Giant, where you just fucking stand there slashing up his feet, like, no, it's not it at all. Also has a lot of cheese attacks that just insta-kill you, it feels like. I remember my only death to him, I was full health and on Torrent. Torrent got cooked and then my entire health bar went. This was all within one attack. Like, that should never happen. I'll be surprised if anyone rates Fire Giant above a C. Still think the C is being generous. Definitely one of the worst bosses. I will give it props where it is due. The cutscene was fucking nuts. Cutscene went crazy. Next up, Mohg, Lord of Blood. How do you guys rate Mohg? Because for me, Mohg might just be top 1 boss in this game. I liked Mohg fight that much. I think it was so good. If you don't think top 1, cool, everyone's got a preference, but I think he's one of the best bosses in this game by far. First of all, the boss arena. I think it's the best boss arena in the game. Second of all, soundtrack. Words can't describe how much I love that soundtrack, man. If the soundtrack is so good that it breaks your concentration. When I got to phase 2, I couldn't even focus. I was just ascending. Third of all, his attacks were great. The Bloodfire was a bit annoying, but overall, telegraphed well, felt fair, felt balanced. I mean, he had some mad range on him. Number 4, Nihil. Nihil alone is a point. I really can't fault Mohg at all. It was such a cool boss fight. And actually, he's the gatekeeper of DLC as well, so bonus points for that. The fact that this man is stopping people from playing the DLC. My goat. My goat for real. All right, next up, Melina, Blade of Mikola. Let's make this one quick. Melina, easy S tier. The only thing I don't like about Melina is the fucking, I don't know the name of it. Everyone knows that one attack, you know, where she's like, and then she pauses, and then and she pauses again, and then like, bro, come on. It is dodgeable and you can learn it, but it's so much higher in terms of difficulty compared to all of her other attacks. The only other difficult attack is the one where she jumps up and then there's like 6 fucking spirit Melanias and they all like dive at you, right? I feel like those are the only 2 hard attacks. But I thought she was really fun. I really like her soundtrack. I like the boss arena a lot. She meets my criteria. And you know what? Bonus points for being naked. I don't care care how rotted up she is. She is one bad bitch. Maybe I just got a thing for redheads. I don't know. But regardless, good fight. Very challenging, very rewarding when you win. It's just a good time. And it's like I said earlier, some bosses you don't look forward to fighting. Like say you're doing a new game plus and you want to test a new build out. I'm sure people look forward to fighting her. She's one of them bosses that you actually replay the game for. So she gets S tier in my book. Next up, Godskin Duo. Now this fight, respectfully, is a big pile of dog shit. Now I don't hate it as much as other people because I just cheesed it. I'll keep it a buck. I stood behind the pillar, hit him with rotten breath. Shameless, but I don't care. This also gets D tier. I still prefer it to Renala, but it was not good. I remember seeing a clip. I don't know if there was a FromSoft employee, but I think they were. But bro tried saying that this was the perfect boss fight. He was like, oh, you fight a Godskin Noble, then you fight Apostle, and then they come together. Like, shut the hell up, bro. If anyone likes Godskin Duo, my condolences. Go to a doctor, get yourself checked out, because you're not wired right. There's something wrong up there, up in the mind thoughts, okay? Do yourself a favor. Get help. Next up, Placidus Sax. Placidus Sax, easy S tier. Even though I have an anti-dragon bias, I think I can give this boy a pass. Very fucking cinematic, arguably the most cinematic boss in the game. Top 2, boss arena, incredible soundtrack. For a dragon, his moves weren't completely unfair. It wasn't as fun as the other ones because, once again, giant target, so you're just standing there slashing away, whatever. But I still think he's S tier. Top 2 dragon, I think Bale was better. This is still up there. Really cool fight. Pretty cool cutscene as well. Next up. All right, Malekith, the Black Blade. I'm gonna put him in S tier. I'm noticing a pattern here. A lot of S tiers, but I think it was good. Grank was one of my favorite characters. I don't know how many people completed his quest before fighting him, but it was actually kind of sad walking through the arena and just seeing him there. Like, his character was cool as fuck. On top of that, Beast Clergyman phase, very fun. Or Clergyman, however you say it. Malekith phase was crazy though. Also really liked his cutscene. I thought his cutscene was very good. I think he had one of the best cutscenes in the game. I do have 2 complaints though. A, I wish they did it 2 separate health bars. I think he was way too cool to be a glass cannon, but that's just how he was. Like, I'm guessing most people beat him by getting him into phase 2 and then immediately staggering him, and then he's pretty much 90% dead already, which is fine, but would rather it be different. And secondly, I think he did way too much damage, bro. I think he could have been balanced a bit better. I think if he did less damage but had more health, it would have been perfect. Admittedly, I only had 40 vigor, but I swear, man, you get melted by this guy. Like, a lot of the times you would just get comboed, and then the destined death, or whatever it's called, the damage over time shit would just tick away and just insta melt you. But overall, very cool fight. One of my favorite bosses in the game. I don't think I liked him as much as mohg and Melina, but I did like him a lot still. I'm guessing most people would rank him S tier. If not, I think you're a bit strange. Next up, so Gideon Ofnir, aka Gideon Dickhead. How do we rate Gideon Ofnir then? You know what's crazy? I got fucking roasted for this guy. I uploaded a couple of shorts and everyone was like, bro, how did you die to this guy? Little did they know I died about 12 times. The thing is, if you die the first time, it does get considerably harder because he's obviously not monologuing. So it was just his one move where he straps a fucking nuclear bomb to his chest. It was so annoying. I think it's mainly a matchup issue though, because I had Eleanor as pole blade, which a lot of you know that skill takes way too fucking long. Like, I would just get caught in the animation and I would just blow up. Yeah, Gideon Ofnir, fucking D tier. Get out of my face. Not a fan. On paper, he's cool because I learned that he can take the moves of the bosses you've defeated at the time. So luckily, when I fought him, he didn't have Melania's powers and mohg's powers because that would have been a fucking nightmare. But still, not the best boss out there. Bro didn't even have his own music. Like, he was not him. Next up, the boy Godfrey, aka Horalu. Ranking Godfrey is easy. Godfrey's easy S tier boss. Definitely one of the more fun ones in my opinion. Phase 1, really fucking good. Attacks are well telegraphed. Soundtrack goes hard. Very balanced, very fair. No real cheesy attacks that you don't like. And then you go into phase 2 of Horalu. Cutscenes funny as fuck. Bro legit thinks he's an anime character. Bro's just picking you up, suplexing you left and right. Just a fun boss, really. He's in the same sort of camp as Malekith, though. I don't know why they didn't give him 2 separate health bars. Would have been so good. I don't care about Fire Giant having a half health transition challenging, but Godfrey and Malekith, they both should have had 2 separate health bars in my opinion. Horley was fun, but he wasn't as strong. Didn't have enough health really. I think most people rank Godfrey pretty high, but at the same time, I know some people don't like him though. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what most people think about him. And then last but not least, Radagon / Elden Beast. It's a shame you got to group these together because it's one fight. I'm going to rank these 2 bosses separately. I think Radagon was S tier. I'd probably put Radagon here. I think Radagon was better than Placidusax, but worse than Malekith. Radagon was really fucking fun. I didn't like how we couldn't bleed since I had an arcane build or status effects, but it is what it is. Arguably the best BGM in the game. That final boss theme is so good. Pretty challenging, but once again, wasn't really any attacks where I'm like, this is bullshit. It was just fun. Elden Beast, on the other hand, I'd put that motherfucker down at B tier. I don't hate him as much as some people. A lot of people don't like him. I think they've also improved it because I think you can now use torrent in there. I mean, I couldn't when I fought him, but I didn't think it was too much of a problem. I think the main issue for him is that as the final boss, it should be so fucking good, but it was a bit boring. You're just standing there like whacking a punching bag, then he's swimming away every fucking 5 seconds. So Elden Beast was mid, but Radagon was really good. I just compare it to like Sword Saint Ishin, right? Like that is how a final boss should be. Like seriously challenging, seriously satisfying and rewarding to win. But then again, Ishin is like one of the greatest bosses, period. I think I'm okay leaving him in B tier. Anyways, that's it for this list. If you guys disagree with anything, let me know. I'm sure there'll be a lot of disagreements. Overall, most of these bosses were really good. And even being in C tier is not necessarily bad. There's just levels to it, isn't it? The only bosses I didn't really like were these bottom 4. The rest of them were like okay / really good. Anyways, that's it for me. Appreciate all of you who dropped likes and comments and all of that shit. But yeah, peace.